on? Oh man, I've been on vacation. Saturday? I've been on vacation all week. I don't even know what day it is, guys. I thought I would come in here today because, first of all, I showered, I did my hair, and I actually am wearing makeup and mascara, which you probably can't tell because that light is like, I don't know how to make it go away, guys. I don't know. It's kind of blocking me out, maybe. Makes me kind of look angelic. We all know that I don't follow rules. I'm not angelic. Holy moly. So I have, with my hair done and my makeup on, I thought I'd come in here and talk to you about my Neurosparkly Master Class. So I have a master class right now. That's 9 hours. You get professional development. You get to sit on your couch because it's virtual. You get to sit on your couch and eat grilled cheese and drink water. And first of all, you get credit. You also get tons of new information. And my master class is on kids with challenging behaviors. And as I talk more about kids with challenging behaviors, I also have fallen into the Neurosparkly community because a lot of those kids present as having behaviors when many of them aren't, but they present that way. So people are always asking me, what do I do when? Parents and teachers. So I am going to design, I'm in the middle of it now, a Neurosparkly Master Class on autism. And right, we're going to start with what's the old information? What information did I used to have, the used to's, I used to could, like, right, puzzle pieces, that it's a disease, that it needs to be cured, that those kids will never make anything of themselves, that it, like, hurts my heart to even say any of those things. And then find out what's the new information so we could support this Neurosparkly community so they can be successful in life, right? But these autistic kids, autistic adults, neurodivergent adults and children have to fit into a neurotypical world. And without extra support, it's hard. Just as if I am neurotypical, if I had to figure out how to live in a neurodivergent world, guys, I need help. I need help with what to do. I need help with my job currently because I am in the neurodivergent community all the time. So what used to not make sense to me now does because I am in the communities all the time, asking questions, actively listening, making strategies, talking to kids and adults about them, doing a lot of testing of, not like standardized testing, guys. Testing like, hey, what about this strategy? Would this strategy work, you think? Am I forgetting anything? Would this ever be fear-based? I would never want it to be fear-based. I only do love-based strategies. So figuring out how to make sure I'm doing what's right for these kids and these adults. And I'm going to put all the things I've learned, all my drunk squirrels, they're all lined up in a row. No, they're not. They're all hanging out, my head twirling around with tutus on and sparkles, figuring out how do I make this masterclass super Neurosparkly so we can help kids, right? So, like, I'm looking over here because, I have notes, because otherwise I just come in here. I tried to write it on a Post-it, and then I just typed it out. And the first part will be, what information did we have and what information do we have now, right? Instead of puzzle pieces, we use the gold infinity symbol, because on the periodic table, I had no idea why. The periodic table, gold is AU. And AU for autism starts with AU. And I was like, that is genius. Who thought of that? Because I think that's amazing and wonderful. And it puts, like, all the pieces fit together for me. I was like, yes! Oh, which is so funny. All the pieces fit together to me. We threw out the puzzle piece, but then all those pieces fit together and made the gold infinity symbol. And the second part is, like, I said this the other day. If you're a neurodivergent kid, you most likely have someone close to you heredity genetics wise that is also neurodivergent. A lot of adults are trying to find a diagnosis because their kid get diagnosed and they were like, I do a lot of the things my kids do, or none of that's weird to me, or I totally understand what's happening. You might also be neurodivergent. And you know how cool that is for your kid to get this diagnosis of autism so they can understand their brain better. Now they're going to get different supports because they have new information. And now you get to hold their hand and get on the same path and figure out the new information too. I think that's magical. And I wish that that is how society saw it. Like, my son was diagnosed with autism, and none of what he did was weird and all made sense to me. So then I got a diagnosis too. And now we're in it together. My 3-year-old and me are finding out how to conquer this neurotypical world together. That's awesome, guys. That is really awesome, and I wish that we did more celebration than, right? The old information used to be autism was a death sentence. It just tells you your brain works different. So let's figure out how your brain works different and how we can adjust an environment, right? That way. So we'll do heredity next. The second one is love languages. There's what I would call neurotypical love languages, although I have some neurodivergent kids that fall into that category with the 5 love languages that they wrote books on and everything. But then I've seen in the neurodivergent autistic community that there is specific love languages for an autistic brain. And I thought, oh, that's amazing. I didn't know that because I never had to do those because that's not the way my brain worked. And now, once I learned that information and I use these love languages with kids, like one would be special interests, guys, it is your way to connect and form relationships. And relationships are your best behavior strategy. Your other two are love and hope. So to find connection, find relationships, find love, and continue to have hope for a child who's having a rough time because their brain works different and we're going to help and support them, use a special interest. I just bought a shirt, a Godzilla shirt, that I am wearing on Thursday, and I cannot wait. Because this Godzilla shirt, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to wear it. I'm going to walk into this little guy's house that I've seen 3 years maybe. I'm going to walk into his house and I'm just going to have a Godzilla shirt on. And I am going to be Queen of Godzilla. If that's a thing, I am going to be Queen of Godzilla. Because I'm going to be so cool that day. I can't even wait. Because I looked for the little guys and the shirt was cooler. The first shirt I bought, just so you know, I got a large. And then it came and it's a kid's large. Because I guess only kids wear Godzilla shirts. I don't know. So now my son owns a Godzilla shirt. And I got the adult girl cut version of the Godzilla shirt. So I'm wearing that on Thursday. I've also done it with trains. I've done it with Legos. I've done it with all sorts of comic books. I've done it, whatever your special interest is, right? I did a Zoom with a girl who loved Descendants. And I was like, oh, I bought a purple wig and I had this furry purple coat. It used to be my mom's. My mom had the coolest, it still does have the coolest clothes. So I wore this. And when I went on Zoom with her, I had that purple hair on. I had that coat on. And she was like, you look like Mel from Descendants. I was like, I know. I did this on purpose. I was the coolest person ever. I was Queen of Descendants. And it is amazing how they open up and the trust comes easier. And we talked about Descendants, and we used Descendants for skill building. I'm going to use Godzilla for skill building. Right? So figuring out special interests. The third one would be, or I don't know, am I on the third one? Fourth one? Guys, drunk squirrel, I don't know. Maybe fourth one. It's the third one on my paper, but I started with old information. So it's the fourth one. I don't think you guys care. The school environment and the changes that need to be made in that school environment, because school is made for neurotypical children. Right? My first masterclass, although I would say start with my first masterclass. And then jump into the autism one if you think you have neurosparkly kids, that the school environment is made for neurotypical kids. And so how do we make changes, right? How do we not force eye contact and take down that old Listening Larry poster? How do we incorporate fidget so they're used as tools, not toys? And they're allowed to have them all the time, and they're not hidden in a closet and you have to ask for them. They're just out. And who keeps buying them? I go to a middle school, high school every Thursday and Friday, and I spend the week scouring all the dollar stores I go by to see what different fidgets they have. And not everybody can do that. Time-wise, not everybody can do that financially. Sometimes I go in and I was like, I couldn't find a dollar store, or I'm currently saving for lots of things in my life right now. So I was like, $30 every week is tricky. So I'm trying to limit the number, which I don't like to do. But I take kids out of class and I'm one-on-one, so they would bring the fidgets back to class. And figuring that piece out, right? The more you move, the more you learn. And if we can move through our hands, it can help our brain focus. Shorter days. How do we make shorter days for kids? And I don't necessarily mean like start later, leave earlier. Shorter days could be like, I'm going to do this amount of work and then I need to go someplace and regroup. That's the shorter day. Like, where do I go and regroup so I'm not with somebody all the time because it's quiet, because it's not quiet, it's loud, people are too close. Kids always tell me it smells like farts. I've got that like 10 times, guys. I don't know who's farting in schools all the time, but it's happening. And it's hysterical, I think. So where do they go for quieter space where they can either dive into their special interest or just have time to be quiet or read a book or go on technology? The autistic brain really likes to dive into technology. So figuring that out for the school environment. And sometimes that means you need a 504 or IEP. And I wish that wasn't the case, but that's the way the school system works. And although I'm going to fight, that still is going to take a long time. So, right where the breaks, and in school, are we making sure that the 8 senses are taken care of, right? The 5 we know, right? Well, let's see, great. Sight, hearing, touch, sound, taste. Guys, drunk squirrels were on it with that one. And then there's proprioceptive and vestibular, so moving, right? Those are the 2 movement needs. And then interoception, so the autistic community has a hard time with interoception sometimes, which is thirst, hunger, I have to go to the bathroom, right? I've heard a lot of stories of autistic adults that say, like, if I was having a bad day and I was just miserable and I was like, right, ready to melt down. And then I was talking to a friend and she's like, when's the last time you've eaten? And they're like, oh, that's probably why. Because I didn't eat in a long time. Or when's the last time you went to the bathroom? Oh, probably why. I'm going to go to the bathroom now, right? They miss those pieces. So sometimes they need to be reminded. So I thought that was hugely helpful because I've had a couple kids that I've worked with in schools that, they would call it tantrum, right? Tantrum and melting down is different. Tantrum means I'm going to have this behavior so I get something. A meltdown is I'm overwhelmed to the point where I can't hold it together anymore. And I've had several kids melt down after I found out about this interoception and that it can be tricky in the autistic community. And I've helped kids with eating, drinking, and going to the bathroom. I've just used those 3. Or digestion, food allergies, that could be one. And then think like, oh, okay. I'm like, hey buddy, let's go to the bathroom. Or I've given them a snack and then it's like they've twirled out of it. So that's beautiful. When we talk about interoception, we're also, I have to write this down. Epiphany! Food sensitivity. Sorry guys, writing it down. Oh, I am not going to know what that says. Food sensitivity. So I used to think the old information I got was just they'll eat when they're hungry. That's what I used to say all the time. So, like, if you're giving them this food and then you don't want them to have this food because of preservatives and dyes and sugars and high fructose corn syrup, just take it out and don't serve it anymore. They'll eat when they're hungry. And then I found out in the autistic community, that's not true. That sometimes there's such severe food aversion or food sensitivity. I don't even know if they call it food aversion, to be honest. That might be I might have misspoken. I feel like they would not say that. But this food sensitivity that the kids will just not eat. Like to the point where they starve themselves. And there's something called I think it's AFRD or AFRI. I don't know if there's an I or not. But again, I'm just learning this and I'm like, oh, okay. So when kids are very particular about their food, we're not going to make them eat it. You can't make them eat anyway. I've always said that. You can't make a kid eat, sleep, go to the bathroom, or talk. So that has been something that I found helpful with food sensitivity. And then the last part I would talk about, the fifth one, is masking and burnout. So, right, a lot of people talk about the burnout and the exhaustion due to masking. I've had adults that say I masked for so long that I don't even know how to unmask. So they're learning how to do that now, right? That difference between a meltdown and a tantrum. What's the spoon theory? We're going to talk about ABA and trauma. Yikes. Guys, it's going to be a lot and it's going to be fun. And comment here if you want to be on the list of, so you're the first ones to grab hold of it and run. I'm still in the making stages of it, but I have the outline, I have some handouts made. I have the title, which I love, my Neurosparkly Master Class. I have a sticker that's sparkly, and I love all sparkle, so take that. So let me know. Comment here. And remember, guys, it always helps. Oh, wait. I said when I came back. Okay, you read? Roses are red, violets are blue. Press the subscribe button and like it too. I said I'd make it fun. And then, yeah, that's why I have roses are red, violets are blue. Press the subscribe button and the like button too. Guys, I am a genius. Maybe I'm going to quit my day job and be a poet. Okay, I love you guys. I will see you soon. And thanks. Bye. Oh my gosh, guys, I can never do... Okay, now I'm going. Bye.